A matter of public importance. Ms Lauder.
It's my pleasure to stand to speak on this topic today. I thank Mr Coe for bringing forward this matter of public importance. It's an issue we talk about frequently in this place, and I think we all acknowledge the importance of recognising, valuing, supporting our seniors. Some perhaps recognise that more than others. And it's a pity in a way that, according to some recent research late last year by the Federation of Australian Councils on the Ageing, that 46% of older Australians surveyed feel less valued by society than when they were younger. And I hear this from some older Canberrans, especially older women. They said they feel invisible. Don't feel as valued. Which, when you look at the other evidence, doesn't make sense, because grandparents provide almost a third of informal childcare for children aged 0 to 12 years with working parents. Huge contribution to our society. Of the 75% of Australians who volunteer, 31% of them are over the age of 65 years. So we really need to unpack those reasons why older people feel less valued, because they are working so hard in our community in so many ways, and they have behind them a lifetime of experience and contribution to our society. That study by the Federation of Australian Councils on the Ageing, which of course our own COTA ACT is a member, also found that 49% of older people have one or more vulnerability indicators. 29% of them work and don't think they can ever retire. 33% of them have experienced age discrimination. On the good news though, 80% of them felt younger than their age, and at least half of them felt more than 10 years younger than they are. In the ACT, of course, according to recent data, 12.5% of Canberrans are aged over 65, and they are an important and growing group in our community. Treasury projections indicate that by 2058, 17.4% of the ACT population will be aged 65 and older. And of course, we have the healthiest, highest income, most educated and longest living population in Australia. Notwithstanding that, seniors in the ACT feel increasingly socially and physically isolated. And one of the issues they're facing is loneliness. When you become isolated in your own home and don't have as much contact with other people, loneliness becomes a huge issue. And there are many things that we can and should and must do to help older Canberrans address that. For example, many Canberrans, older Canberrans, are IT savvy, but not everyone, especially amongst the very oldest cohort. So we must ensure that we provide information and resources in other formats rather than solely IT focused. It's something I hear over and over again. According to some recent data, 21.8% of people aged 65 and over in the ACT had not had face-to-face contact with a family member or friend not living in the same household in the last week. So we must look at how we can make their contact with other people easier. It does include items like suburban infrastructure improvements, making it easier for them to get around their own suburbs. That can be avoiding trip hazards, wider paths, making sure that there are bus stops near where they live, including outside retirement villages. Another issue that we'll talk about in other areas here in this place this week include the closure of the hydrotherapy pool. And indeed, as Ms Lakuta has pointed out, we have a standard in the ACT of how close a standard bus stop will be. If you're a person with arthritis, often severe arthritis that requires you or would prompt you to use the hydrotherapy pool, for example, in Lanyon, as we did here during question time today, whether you're in Gordon, Banks or Conda, doesn't really matter, you face a 3-hour round trip just for the bus component. You must also get to the bus stop with your arthritis so severe that it requires hydrotherapy, and you must get from the bus stop to the hydrotherapy pool. Then not only to the hydrotherapy pool, but to the far end of the pool where the change rooms are, and then back to the other end to access the pool itself, and do all that in reverse to get home. It is a very complex issue, and it's something that impacts on the everyday life of older Canberrans. And if we haven't looked at the impact of closing the pool, then why haven't we? I know Mrs Dunn is going to prosecute this